Yeah. Unashamed, unafraid. I'm trying to walk the walk. Truth on the mic, no shame here, just real talk. Came from the outside, never fit in. Now we tell the story and the healing begins. No front, no mask, just telling the truth. Keep it real, keep it raw, speaking straight from the booth. If you feeling like an outsider, this one's for you.
Welcome to another episode of Unashamed, Unafraid. We are unashamed of sexual addiction recovery and unafraid of coming unto Christ for healing.
He got it right. Woohoo!
I did get it right. I always mess that up. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. The first part was unashamed of sexual addiction recovery. The second part being unafraid of coming unto Christ for healing. I know this is going to be a tearjerker because God has been a huge part of my story. And here we go. When I found out that the God that I believed in was not judgmental, but kind and loving and forgiving and relentless in his pursuit of me, everything started to change. I know where I was. Chris was standing right next to me, actually. It was at Warrior Heart Boot Camp, and I prayed, and I said things to God that I had never said before. Something inside of me opened up that had never been open before. And I can trace almost every good thing in my recovery back to that moment where I finally learned, just in a moment, and I've had moments where I've forgotten since then, but when I learned how Jesus actually felt about me, everything changed.
Amen.
We could end the episode
We could
right
end the
there.
episode right
over.
there.
We're good.
Chris is like, ditto. I'd say ditto. Right?
Yeah.
Coming unto Christ for healing, and we have an episode about this. The first step of that is learning who God really is.
Yeah.
And what God's really like. Because I think shame, secrecy, silence, and judgment, I think a lot of the time we believe in our shame that God is super judgmental of us in our
Right.
actions, in our acting out actions. And
so it
that,
becomes transactional.
right, and that because he's judging us for what we did, that now somehow that judgment has caused him now to withdraw his love or to love us less.
Or punish us.
Or
Yeah.
That's how I would see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That now God is going to have to punish me or make my life worse in order to teach me a lesson. Right. All of these essentially mortal, flawed ways of discipline that our parents or that we observe in the world, that we're like, that is not who God is. God's ways are higher than man's ways. And this is why I think we're often at the beginning afraid to come unto Christ for healing. And even when we think we aren't, we still are.
Yeah, that's certainly been true of my story. One piece of this that's really interesting is that all three of us, I'm sure we would all say this, none of us ever became unafraid of coming unto Christ for the healing that had to take place until we were in a situation, in an environment where it was safe enough to do so. Not that you have to wait until the circumstances are right, but you have to create circumstances where you can open up with the vulnerability. You can find the stillness and reflect and journal and understand. And it's some sort of environment where you can connect with the divine. The outer world is still enough that he can go inside of your heart and show you how he actually feels.
Yeah.
James, you're thinking deep thoughts right now, man.
Well,
Oh, wait.
maybe. Sometimes not.
So you're just like processing.
Yeah, I'm just listening to what you say. But yeah, I mean, you have to get to a safe enough experience, I guess, to experience Christ safely.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the thing, is a lot of the time shame will keep you from actually recognizing a safe environment as safe.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
you've got your shame goggles on.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I grew up in the same congregation as a kid. I moved away for 10 years. I moved back into the same neighborhood and now still go to the same congregation. Many of the same people, same leaders, all that. Well, guess how different church is now that my shame goggles are off.
Quite a bit different, man.
As a kid, I'm like, man, my church was super shaming. They were all blah, blah, blah. Now I go back and I'm like, man, these are really great leaders. Man, so loving.
Huh.
So,
Well,
Guess-
shame is comes into the story that we tell ourselves,
totally, to my point.
right?
That's exactly my point. I had
Like
my
we could
shame
have this-
goggles on, and I thought that they were shaming me.
Yeah.
But guess who was shaming me?
You.
Yeah, me or Satan in my head, or like just the shame goggles,
Yeah.
right, that I had on.
Yeah.
And you would say that shame produced the fear that kept you from coming to Christ for the healing.
Oh,
you needed.
absolutely. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it kept me from knowing his love and really truly understanding
Yeah.
how loved I was. Because I'm like, I don't deserve it. So why would I go to him? Because he hates me anyway.
Yeah. So there's part one.
Yeah.
Part two, why are you still afraid to come into Christ for healing?
Why am I still unafraid?
Huh?
I didn't know I was.
I have watched you be afraid in areas of your life where you're still afraid to go into Christ for healing. That's what I'm talking about. So what in our lives keeps us afraid of coming into Christ for some deeper healing? Last 3-5 years, Chris, we've been on a journey, and I've watched you.
Oh, my financial stuff.
Bingo. There's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
as you look at those moments, like what are some of those factors that maybe really caused you to be still you were
Because that was what I
afraid.
felt like shame,
Afraid.
right?
Yeah.
Is my shame.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on the podcast. I was super excited. I listened to this marketing stuff and that I was going to get this amazing program. It was a $10,000 buy-in for this program, and it was going to be awesome. And I didn't tell Autumn about it. Paid $10,000.
red flag number 1. Didn't
And
tell Autumn about it.
Didn't say anything to Autumn because I was like, oh, I'll just hurry up, make the money back, pay it off. She won't know.
Red flag number 2, negotiating with your addiction.
And my shame kept me from telling her.
Red flag number
For-
3, keeping secrets.
For over a year. It was a year and like 2 months before I actually disclosed it to her. And it wasn't because I disclosed it to her. It was because Stephen was talking to her. Him and James knew about it. They were down at a thing, and Stephen mentioned it, and
In passing.
and just in passing, and she was like, "Excuse me, what are you talking about?" And she called me, and that literally almost ended my marriage. I had to check myself again and be like, "Holy shit, I'm struggling here," and disclose everything to Autumn about it. And then, in my shame, came to James. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, man. And I don't know how to get out. And he walked us through. And he fathered me in that.
What was that conversation like with God?
God, just help me get out of this. Help me, go to whoever I need to. And James, just showed up in it. I mean, James and Stephen knew about it before, but they didn't know that I hadn't talked to my wife about it. Right? And just going to God and being like, I just need to figure out who can father me in all this. And James, just shows up. He's like, I'll walk with you in it. Just loving me. That's what's cool about being when we go to God in those places and we take off those shame goggles, then we can see God's work and how he puts people in our lives to be able to help walk us through what we need. And if we're living in those shame goggles, we're not going to see that as a gift from God, or we're not going to see that as something that we need. If I was still living in shame, I would have discounted James and been like, "No, dude, I'm good, man. I'll figure this out on my own." But all this stuff, I'm like, I've refused to do this all on my own. So I'm like, nope, I'm going to somebody.
Thanks, Chris. That was awesome.
So, how do you?
Where are you afraid to come into Christ for healing?
Oh, come on, man.
Yep, your turn.
Dude, I was so
He's
close.
like, we
I
don't
was
have
so
time for this. We're
I was
finishing
so
the episode.
close to getting away with
Nope.
asking you guys another question.
You're not. It's okay. I'm next.
I was gonna say
Yep.
that's okay. He's not getting out of it either. So
Nope. I'm
He
next.
knows.
It's
All
okay.
right, all right. Ask your question again.
Where do you find yourself still afraid to come into Christ for healing?
This is shameful to admit, which is exactly the reason why I'm going to talk about it openly. I reached a point after so many years of going to therapy, digging things out, doing things that were hard for me, that I couldn't believe that there was more that I needed healing from. I was tired of it, and it was easier to just kind of sink back into the old way because I had gotten to a point where it was manageable.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Totally.
If I'm only relapsing every few weeks or every few months, if I'm only feeling just a little bit of shame or a medium amount, that's still much better than anything I've ever experienced. So I can take it easy. And the lie is that I will return to God again to clean things up someday.
When you're totally sober.
When I'm totally sober, when it's convenient, when it's time. That's what has kept me afraid of coming to Christ for healing the last year of my life. When you're finally out of the ditch, sometimes it's easier to just like put the shovel down and lay down and take a nap. And that's exactly what I've done. I forgot that I had to get back home.
And if any of you want a perfect depiction of exactly what you're talking about, in The Chosen, it's season 1, episode 4, when Peter goes out fishing, right, all night,
Mm-hmm.
because he just goes out with his buddies and they go out fishing. They don't catch anything. They come onto the shore, and Christ asks him to throw it over. Right? They get all this fish, and then if you watch this episode, this is like so important to go in and rewatch this, or you can just watch the clip on YouTube. But you see Peter run off the bow of the boat and drops to his knees, and he hangs his head in shame. And he's like, he even says, "I am not worthy of you. You're the man." And he's like, "I am." And he's like, "I'm not worthy of you." And Christ says, "Look at me." And he looks up at him and he says, "What do you want?" And Christ doesn't just stand over him like he's this supreme being. He drops to his knees and gets in his face. And he says, "Follow me." But what I love about that is he doesn't say, "Hey, Peter, when you stop doing the things you're doing, then come follow me. When you start praying to me more, then come follow me. When you stop your addiction, then come follow me." He doesn't say that. He just says, "Hey, I'm here. I see you. All your sins and all the things that you've got going on, I see you. And I just want you to follow me. Because I know your heart.
Yeah.
And I love you. Even everything that you've got going on, I still love you because you're mine." That's what coming unto Christ looks like. Coming into him for healing. Not when we get better and we've stopped the addiction or we've stopped whatever we got going on. No, we just can go to him and he can be there because he can be the one that can help remove it from us.
Sometimes we think that once our behavior changes, God will love us. But actually, once we realize how much God loves us, our behavior changes.
Love that.
It's a quote from my good buddy Matt Hyde. Shout out to Matt.
Peace out, Matt. Love you, brother.
All right, my turn.
Here you go.
You're both looking at me. All right.
We're going back to James.
I'm
want-
feeling
you
really
want-
smug
yeah.
right now.
You know what keeps me afraid of going to Christ for healing? I'm afraid of his answer. Because I'm afraid he's going to ask me to do something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
He's going to ask me to do something I'm afraid to do. He's going to ask me to sacrifice something. You mean if I want to lose weight, I can't just have soda and a burger and fries every day for lunch? I don't like that answer. That's a sucky answer.
Yeah.
Can you give me a different answer? That's what'll keep me from doing it. Right there. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of the answer. That I might have to do something hard that I don't want to do. That make a sacrifice.
Disclose.
Disclose something. You mean I have to be accountable for this? You mean I have to, like, make healthy choices? I kind of like my unhealthy ones. Those are easier, it seems. You know, even though they're not really, right? But
Yeah.
in the moment, it seems like that. Are you sure that's the answer, God? I don't like that answer. You got an easier one? That one's going to be hard. That one's going to be really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Let's try this again, God. Let me ask it a different way.
Right.
I'm going to lead, you follow.
So, for sure, that's what keeps me afraid of coming into Christ for healing. Because, I mean, like, another way of saying it is, like, I kind of don't want the healing yet. That's kind of what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough to admit and look at within myself of like, oh, maybe I just like this sin or this weakness or this unhealthiness in my life a little too much still. Or, you know, just doing that's too hard. I just don't want to do that. That, for sure, that keeps me from doing a lot of things, I think.
Yeah. So, James, about a year ago, we had a Live Unashamed episode where you talked about a couple things you felt like you had to change in recovery in order to get fully sober.
Mm-hmm.
And number one was, I need to take care of my body.
Mm-hmm.
Number two was, I need to start being accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And those may have been different episodes, but those were two commitments that you made. It's been almost a year later, and you...
It's been over a year, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that was
positive.
back...
I guess you could go check. You'd be the man.
Sure, yeah. Somewhere in that range. I mean, a year or more, and you're killing it. We made those commitments, and I made commitments that day too. I'm not sure how well I'm doing on those. But you are like so different. You've dropped 50 pounds. You're more accountable than you've ever been. You're more sober than you've ever been, at least in recovery. And you're a different person. So, yeah, I don't want to invite myself into that kind of a commitment as well, along with you guys, and talk about what I'm going to work on. I feel like I'm finally at a pivot point where I'm done coasting. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to commit to this. I want to spend time to be still with God every single day. Rather than just avoiding it because I'm afraid of the hard work that's yet to come, I'm going to honestly consider what my needs are. I'm going to honestly consider how my day has gone. And I'm going to go to God and I'm going to have a conversation with him about it every single day. Because I have never done that in my whole life. And it is keeping me from recovering. It's keeping me from coming unto Christ for healing. That's my commitment.
To what end?
I want to know him. It's about what I want to feel. Yeah. And I know it when I feel it. You're not going to have a warrior heart experience every single day, but it's the way I felt when I was at warrior heart. I knew he was with me. I knew he loved me. And those feelings, spiritual feelings of calm, peace, they've been distant. I haven't felt them. I want to do that so that I can invite that kind of an experience, that kind of a spirit
So
back into my
to
life.
deepen your relationship with him.
Yeah.
What's cool about that, dude, is when you experience God that way every day and you're connecting with him on that level, you start to discover who you are.
Yeah.
So that when those temptations come up, you're like, it's actually not part of me. It's not even there. I'm not an addict. I'm a son of God. Because you're experiencing it over and over again. So the change that you'll experience is an identity change. And that's what is just beautiful to experience. I've experienced it. James has experienced it.
Yeah.
And we get to watch you experience it.
That's the next step for me.
Do you want to accelerate the process?
Yeah.
As you spend time with him, do the second half that I'm telling, like, that I'm saying that keeps me. Go into, like, I want to spend time with you, get to know you, but I'll do whatever you say. If you want to accelerate the whole
that's
process.
scary.
Boy, that is unafraid of coming unto Christ.
Right.
Dude, imagine the identity transformation. Like the
Bingo.
person I could become in
Yep.
1 year
I'm just
if that was my goal in life.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, from a dude who's been doing recovery now for 14 years, and it's gone slow. Do you want to know why it went slow? I just told you, because I'm afraid of the answer.
Yeah.
So if you just want to go in and, like, you need to spend time with God and be like, just who are you first? Because I actually don't trust you yet. So clearly I'm not going to do what you say when I feel it or sense it, because I just don't trust you yet. Sure, go on that journey. But if you think he's trustworthy, go in with the intention not only to just feel him, but to obey him.
Wow. Challenge accepted, Mr. James.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm excited to have an episode in 6 months where I talk about what that experience was like. Anything you guys feel prompted to commit to going forward?
I'm already on part of the journey that I just challenged you to. This is why I'm like, frankly, I guess I feel like I should have figured it out by now, being as old as I freaking am. But that's why I'm like, let me just fast track it for you so you don't have to be 50 before you realize it. But it's the same. I want to do the same thing, Sam. Like and I've already kind of picked that up for myself. But now that I'm saying it out loud to somebody besides myself and God, now I got to do it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do the same thing.
For me, as fear sets in, as I feel it coming in, because fear will still come in and try to wreak havoc in my life. And when that fear comes in, I'll be unafraid of coming to Christ for him. I'm going to go to him first.
Yeah.
Love that.
Guys, thanks for watching. I'm excited to be held accountable to this episode. I say excited because
Let's jot this number down. We're going to reference
this
one
is
back.
probably like episode 210 or something. We'll see how it lands.
Just go ahead and put this in your journal or in your calendar for 6 months from now.
I know.
Reference.
I'm going to get a bunch of emails. They're going to be like, bro, how you doing? Thank you, though. Thanks for standing in these intimate, vulnerable moments with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the Unashamed, Unafraid team. If you're out there listening, you're one of us. You can find us on social media at Unashamed, Unafraid. You can become
An outsider.
I feel like crying. You can become an outsider on unashamedunafraid.com/donate. We really appreciate our outsiders. They make it possible for us to do what we do so other people can continue healing as well. Grateful for you tuning in with us. Share this episode. Give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast episodes. And until next time, continue to live unashamed.
Yeah.